Welcome to our rolling news coverage. We will bring you the latest developments on the most pressing stories around the world. Straight ahead.
Event number 1. Russian blogger criticizes military leadership for heavy losses on the battlefield. Event number 2. Missiles strike the helipad inside the U.S. Embassy complex in Baghdad. Event number 3. NATO air defense intercepts ballistic missiles from Iran over Turkish airspace.
And now, for the details.
Due to Russia's high casualty rate in its invasion of Ukraine and the poor state of its military, discontent is growing among the Russian public, who accuse the Kremlin of betrayal and treason. These criticisms are increasingly being voiced by war bloggers, who had previously promoted the narrative supporting Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine that began in February 2022. Prominent Russian blogger Yevgeny Goman criticized the Russian leadership over the state of the military, saying that perhaps the real enemy is within Russia itself, explaining that the army is short on essential supplies and competent military officials. There are no commanders, no supplies, and everyone is silent, as if everything is fine. But the reality is, there are problems everywhere, and they need to be addressed, Goman said in a video posted on social media. He told of a commander he described as incompetent, who had never served in the army and knew nothing about war, and who eventually deserted without paying his soldiers. The blogger said the problems could be solved if military officials were appointed from among those with a proven track record. Goman continued, "The guys are fighting in knee-deep mud. I can't bring myself to say we should stop. It's not even clear where the enemy is, what's happening in the country, who's for us, who's against us. It's time for the leadership to make a decision." Previously, Goman had accused Russian military officials of mistreating soldiers and sending them on suicide missions. Many Russian military bloggers are criticizing the military leadership, with some accusing defense officials of corruption, incompetence, or treason for allowing heavy battlefield losses and operational failures. Following setbacks like Ukraine's 2022 counteroffensive in the Kharkiv region and subsequent losses around Kherson, these commentators argued that poor planning and leadership led to the needless deaths of Russian soldiers. Another source of anger is the treatment of wounded soldiers and the compensation for the families of those killed in action. Some families report facing bureaucratic hurdles in receiving payments or recognition for their deceased relatives. Such experiences have deepened the perception among critics that the government is not honoring the sacrifices of its own troops. In online discussions and private conversations, some Russians express a belief that the state has truly betrayed those it sent to war. A rocket struck a helicopter landing pad inside the U.S. Embassy compound in Baghdad early Saturday morning, 2 Iraqi security officials said. Associated Press footage showed a column of smoke rising Saturday morning over the embassy compound. The sprawling embassy compound, one of the largest U.S. diplomatic missions in the world, has been persistently targeted by rockets and drones fired by Iran-backed militia groups. There was no immediate comment from the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. On Friday, the embassy renewed a Level 4 security alert for Iraq, warning that Iran and Iran-backed militia groups have previously carried out attacks targeting U.S. citizens, interests, and infrastructure, and may continue to do so. NATO defense forces on Friday intercepted ballistic missiles fired from Iran over Turkey, the third such incident since the conflict with Iran began. According to the Associated Press, the Turkish Defense Ministry said the missile was destroyed by a NATO air defense system deployed in the eastern Mediterranean. Residents in the southern city of Adana reported hearing a loud explosion and sirens wailing at the Incirlik airbase, which is used by U.S. forces, early Friday morning. As sirens blared in Adana, video broadcast by IHA showed deserted streets. There were no reports of casualties. The Turkish Defense Ministry on Thursday stressed that Incirlik is a Turkish base and that the presence of foreign troops does not change its status, an apparent response to warnings from Tehran to regional nations against hosting U.S. military bases.